Thanks very much. Welcome back to the Gold Room, where we take great suppliers from the mic to the mine. Ryan, thank you very much for coming in and speaking with us today. It's awesome to have you.
Yeah, appreciate it, mate. I think it's a really good, initiative that you guys have taken here to do something a little bit different. So, happy to be a part of it.
Beautiful, mate. Thanks very much. And Eric Hill.
Hey.
Thanks very much, mate.
Great to be back in the vault in the Gold Room there, JC.
Yeah, mate.
Just Ryan's from Alemlube.
Did I not introduce Alemlube? I just thought, you know what?
Ryan.
Yeah, but that's Ryan, and you know what? We can... thanks very much, Ryan, from Alemlube.
Yep.
For coming in.
No problem.
Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, mate?
Yeah.
Or a lot. Actually, tell us a lot about yourself.
Yeah. So I'm 32. I'm originally from Bendigo in Victoria. So gold mining town, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful.
Had nothing to do with that over there. But, I grew up there. Big into sports. I played a lot of cricket. I think I played about 16, 17 years of cricket, something like that.
Okay.
Bit of footy in that as well. So, made the move over to WA, I think about 6 years ago.
Yep.
Okay.
And,
How you finding it?
I love WA.
Yeah,
It's awesome, mate.
Underrated beaches.
Yeah, definitely. You
really
been
good.
down south?
Yeah.
Yep.
I travel a lot for work, obviously. So,
Obviously.
But, the south of the state's beautiful.
Yeah. Where's your favourite place down south?
Um,
Esperance? Like the Bremen Bay? Or
Yeah.
been there?
I reckon he's going to say Margs.
I don't mind a glass of red. Nice
Yes,
glass of red. So
I picked it. I
can't
picked
be
it.
marks for that. I need a bit of fishing as well, so I don't mind
nice.
getting down to like Pemberton area. There's
Yep.
a few nice rivers down there, and
Oh, yeah. Nice.
good spots down there. So
Yeah, awesome.
yeah.
And so, what did you say, 6 years ago?
6 years ago. So
Okay.
actually moved over here with my ex-wife.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, we've been in that boat too, haven't we? Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah, you're there, brother.
yeah. So came over here, and I always wanted to try somewhere new. It was either going to be Melbourne or Perth. So I'm glad it
choice.
was Perth.
Yeah, you picked a bloody great state.
Yeah, big country town. It feels like so. Yeah, and love the beach. So that's really big positive over here. Some awesome beaches over here. So
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
For sure.
just down the road.
Yeah. And what are you doing in your spare time there, Ron?
I do a lot of. I've taken up tennis recently. Actually,
Really?
I play a lot of golf.
Yep. Where do you play?
All over. So golf
Really?
There's a lot of good places in Perth to play, like courses in Perth to play. So played kind of all over Perth golf wise, and been playing.
I only ever go to the bloody driving range, that two-tier sucker in
Wembley.
Wembley.
Yeah,
Wembley,
nice.
that's the one, yeah.
Well,
Been there?
look, we've got a supplier.
Yep.
Only loves golf, so I'm thinking we might have a couple of corporate golf days.
We're
there,
going to have to.
JC, what do you
We're going to
reckon?
have to, bloody oath.
I think so.
That's fine.
Alemlube sponsorship?
It'll be on Alemlube.
Yeah, of course. Maybe we should do some fishing days too.
Yeah, sounds
You know?
good.
You like fishing?
I love fishing. Yeah.
Far better than a corporate tennis day, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
hang on.
Right?
Yeah. But,
Nice.
Now, tennis gets you moving a little bit more, so I've sort of snuck in there a little bit lately. It's good fun.
Yeah, okay,
That's
cool.
well, you can tell that JC and me are movers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Movers and shakers and...
It's that elbow usually, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is. Sure is.
Nice one. So, you come over 6 years ago, Ryan, and we're glad you made the choice to come to Perth, mate,
Yep.
in WA. So, tell us about how you got into Alemlube, and what was your progress, and how you got into the job, and how's things going in that role.
Yeah, to be honest, it was a job application. It wasn't one of those. There's no real story to it.
No,
Nothing
okay.
exciting there, but
Saw the ad on Seek.
Yeah,
Is that right? Saw the
Yeah.
ad on Seek.
Yeah.
And then applied for the role.
Yep.
Interviewed for the role.
Interviewed for the role. It was through a recruitment agency, so. To be honest, I hadn't had previous experience in anything lubrication
Sales?
before. Sales experience previously,
Sure.
yeah. I actually used to work in the disability industry, so disability
Oh,
employment
okay.
services, yeah.
Nice.
So a bit of a different change up to what I'm doing now, but definitely sales related. A lot of cold calling, a lot of relationship building, all that stuff.
Okay. That would have put you in good stead for what you're doing now, I guess.
Absolutely.
What were you doing in the disability industry?
So it's a mixture of case management
Yep.
and BDM work. What I'm doing now, so
Yeah, okay.
a lot of building relationships with employers, finding people that are a bit more open-minded and open to taking someone on who might have some limitations but can still offer
Right.
a lot in the workplace. So.
First thing that sprung to mind for me was that, you see that movie War Dogs?
Yeah, no.
Okay, it's about these two young fellas, gun runners in the United States.
Right.
One of them starts out as he's in the disability industry selling bed sheets to like,
I think I have seen some of that. Yeah.
you know, like he does massages in his spare time, and he's also selling bed sheets
Yes.
to like retirement. Maybe it's not disability, but it's retirement. And then he just changed it right up, and he's selling weapons and
Oh, really?
Arms dealer, yeah,
arms
yeah.
dealer. Yeah, it's a true
Right.
story. It's a true story.
True story. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
crazy. Anyway,
Oh, well, yeah, lube today.
exactly.
Who knows where this is going to go? Sorry,
We
cut you
digress.
off,
We
mate. Yeah,
digress.
do.
Go, bro.
Nah,
Carry on,
and
carry on.
just on that, I've had a couple of because we've got a lot of distributors that we deal with in Perth, but a couple of cheeky guys that I've met along the way, and have awarded me a couple of nicknames along
And
the
if
way.
they go,
so,
tell us, Ryan.
so Lube Dude was pretty friendly.
That's
Used
awesome.
to just get Lube Dude as I walked in the door.
Nice.
Or the KY guy.
So, you know, I like the KY guy. That's awesome.
yeah,
That's
that was
awesome.
pretty good.
A little blow up paddling pool, and you
I
know,
thought you were going to say something else
Dog.
besides pool.
we might have to cut that part out.
But, and I guess that's one of the things that you find right throughout the mining industry is the sense of humour and
Yeah,
that's
people,
exactly
I don't know,
right.
they just seem to make up names and
Yeah.
get bandied around, and before you know it,
You've either got you got an O on the end.
Yeah.
You know, Shauno, Rico, Simo.
Yeah.
Or what else? What else they chuck? Australians chuck a bloody Y, an IE.
yeah,
Yeah.
anything.
Something on the end, eh?
Or they
Yeah.
shorten it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alexander becomes Lex. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway,
great one.
again, we digress.
Yeah, we do. That's what we do.
So you say you applied for the job in Seek and got the interview and passed that obviously. And
Yep.
so were there stages or have you
Yeah,
have
was
you
it
gone through?
straight to
Yeah.
sales and then BDM, or
Yep.
you know, how does that company structure work?
Yeah, so I guess I sold myself as a prospect, someone with the transferable skills to come in and sell. But yeah, the role that I started in was in general range and workshop equipment, so like capital workshop equipment. So started there, I think I did that for about 2 years, and then I've moved into the auto lubrication systems now. So
Yep.
Okay. Auto lubrication systems, ALS?
ALS,
Yeah,
auto greasing systems.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right, what's Alemlube all about, and what has it got on offer for the mining industry?
So yeah, Alemlube's been around for 50 years. They're they're Australian owned, so owned by two brothers based in Sydney. And yeah, we're a long-standing company. Obviously, we deal with lots of different manufacturers from around the world. So we source products from Asia, so China, and also all through Europe, so Spain, Italy is a big one, and also America and even the UK as well.
Awesome.
So our ILC pumps, for example, are coming out of Italy, and they're one of the best quality or the best quality pump on the market.
Okay.
And some of our fittings and divider blocks and things like that are coming out of the UK as well. So
Like these divider blocks here?
Yep, this in front of me here. So yeah, we've got really good relationships with some of these companies that that manufacture these products. Our supply is really good, so we'll always have stock in Australia of what we need.
And you keep a big local stock here in Western Australia?
Absolutely. So big warehouse. We're actually expanding. So that's on the table at the moment.
Where are you at the moment? Lansdale, Wangara?
Lansdale.
Lansdale,
So
that's
right
right,
next to Wangara. We've actually outgrown that site, really.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, yeah. So there's parts of the business that are increasing turnover that need a much larger footprint of space to be able to store stock. So capital workshop equipment, think big hoists, that really big equipment that needs a lot of space.
Yeah.
And it's hard to store. Yeah.
Awesome.
Good for the industry, I guess, to be able to, first of all, provide that high level of equipment, but also back it up with some good supply, for when you need it. I guess, as just talking about the material and the products you have on offer, what about your actual team of people? Have you seen that expand exponentially with the product that you're offering and the numbers?
Yeah, I think since I've been at Alemlube for 2.5 years total now. I think our team's almost doubled in that time.
Yeah, right.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's only increasing. So from a service point of view, that's a really big focus. Obviously, we have the product, and we have some really good products.
Yep.
We have a good sales team, and we have the base in the industry to be able to sell those products, but to then service them with or service the customer with quality installation and then quality follow-up service is kind of is something we're putting a lot of focus into now.
Sure, yeah, a bit of technical support. Stuff
Absolutely,
like
yeah. I guess especially with WA, because WA is so big geographically, and we've got a lot of customers that are in some pretty hard to reach places. We need to have a touch there, and that's obviously where the mining industry, where we relate to the mining industry there, and we're trying to increase our footprint. Up north around the Pilbara. Obviously Port Hedland, and then Kalgoorlie, and down south as well, down to Esperance, and anywhere there's an Alemlube product.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, for sure.
Great.
Yeah.
And I guess just thinking about that, I mean, obviously the gold room's focused on the mining industry, but you'd obviously touch on agriculture and a lot of other cross industries.
Yeah, the agricultural industry is huge in WA. It's very different to the East Coast.
Oh, really?
Really different. Well, there's some similarities, but
in terms of machinery or
just the types of crops.
Okay.
That sort of thing. Yeah,
sure.
But
sure.
Probably farmable land mass as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
so.
you think the fields over here
are
huge, are massive. It's an amazing state. We've
With
got
the
the
Texas
land
of
mass.
Australia.
We are. Oh, yeah. Ryan, can you tell us a bit more about ALS, the ALS division, where the company's placed?
Yep. So, auto lubrication is growing. I guess it's a relatively new. It's not a new technology, but we're catching up to it. There's some people in the industry that are sort of cottoning on to the benefits of it, and what it can actually do for their business in terms of longevity of products or longevity of machinery, less downtime, less servicing costs,
reliability.
Reliability, and downtime's a dirty word.
It is. Downtime costs money.
Exactly, yeah. So that's what it's all about. It's all about keeping the machines running. So in WA, where, to be honest, we probably haven't had the footprint that we want to have in ALS, and it's something that we're putting a huge focus into now. I've moved into this role to try and drive that and to try and, gain some territory on our competitors. So there's a really big focus on that now. We're putting a lot of focus, as I said, into service. So we're increasing that service team and the technicians team to the point where we'll now have someone based regionally. So we're going to have someone based in Port Hedland now.
Okay. So you have a service division up there?
Yep.
Permanently?
Yep.
Like a warehouse, you'll have parts, you'll have everything?
Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic. What about the goldfields? What's your footprint there in the goldfields?
Yep, so there's a plan there as well. So it's a relatively new plan, but it's actually ramped up pretty quick.
Awesome.
Obviously, we need a sales presence out there as well, which is my job.
Yep.
But the service will be either an Alemlube technician in that area, or it'll be a service agent that the customer can rely on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's trained and obviously well versed in your product and can support that as an extension of your base here in Perth.
Yeah, and we offer train. So we've got a national product and training manager. He will come around no charge and train our service agents to actually.
That's what I was going to ask, Ryan, and I think you kind of beat me to it in respect to that aspect. I was going to ask you what do you think sets you apart from your competitors and what's coming up and what you got on offer? But training must be a big aspect. It's not just about pumping grease or whatever product into
product knowledge. Product knowledge for any sales team is paramount. Anyone can shift boxes.
Yep.
But it's you've got to be able to say, hey, listen, part of what we do is we'll train your team. We'll make sure that your team is the full bottle on what they're selling.
Exactly right. Yeah. So, and as you say, anyone can shift boxes, but it's that extra work involved, and it is a lot of work. But we know if we get it right, there's a lot to be gained out of it, and it shows. So our Queensland branch, we call it the Taj Mahal.
Nice. Flash, eh?
It's very flash. Yeah, it's got some balconies there. They've got the ping pong table.
Nice.
They've got the work. So we want to achieve that in WA as well. And one of the biggest growth areas that we see is ALS. And yeah, the from a training perspective, to have someone that can come over and train someone free of charge on how to use a system, even a service agent how to install these systems, it's invaluable.
It's product add, value add for sure.
Yeah,
and to the client, obviously, as well as yourselves.
Yep, absolutely. And then the backing, so local backing from. Whether it's myself, there's always going to be someone that will pick up the phone. We've got a dedicated ALS project manager now, which we didn't have before.
Okay.
So we've actually separated the two project divisions in WA from capital workshop equipment and ALS. So we've split it down the middle.
Oh, okay.
And we've actually just brought in a couple of people from South Africa, into capital workshop roles, and we've got a really experienced guy who's running the ALS division by himself now.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty cool.
So differentiate that for us if you can, Ryan. Like your capital division. What does that involve? What's the nucleus of that?
So capital workshop equipment's all.
So it's like a new fit out of a workshop. Is it like it's capital expenditure to fit out a workshop with a lubrication system, or?
No. So it's the equipment, specifically the equipment. So it can be anything from a hoist to a full workshop fit out. We can do the whole lot, and we're really the Taj Mahal in Queensland also has its own manufacturing side.
Oh wow!
So we've got full laser cutter set up. We've got a paint booth. We've got the whole lot there. We can design and construct all sorts of gantries and oil storage, and obviously then we have all the pump equipment and the all the accessories to fit that out.
We might have to get some B-roll for this podcast and show.
Yeah,
100%.
I've got over there. I think that'll be awesome.
100%.
It'll really work.
Yeah.
So going on from the workshop equipment division, what's out there for maintenance teams out on site?
So at the moment, we've actually got a brand new product coming through, a new set of column lifts.
Okay.
So we try and have a good, better, best approach. So we'll have sort of different product ranges for different budgets, requirements. Yeah. So your mining industry is going to need something, really durable. We've got Ravaglioli, which are an Italian brand. They're your premium level. Obviously that comes with a price tag, but that sort of purchase is, a 20-year plus investment.
Yeah, sure.
But we also have now a little bit more of an economical, economical model out of China, and it's actually made by the same company that makes a very popular range of hoists in Australia that are, installed every second week. You'll see a lot of them. I can't obviously say the name, but
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But it comes from a reputable manufacturer.
Mate, my question is, why, if you've got two great products, one's out of Italy, one's out of China, what's the, if you've got one that's expensive and one that's still great quality, what's driving the sale of for a mining company? What's driving the sale of why should we choose an Italian brand rather than a cheerful Chinese option?
Yeah, I guess there's this stigma attached to Chinese products sometimes, especially with heavier duty stuff. But the reality is that most of the electronics that you find in most things come from China. The other point to that is a lot of manufacturers these days are manufacturing their products in China because it's cheaper. But everything's designed in Germany. It's designed in Europe, wherever.
And those companies generally, from what I've seen in China, is the QAQC team from those specific companies are boots on the ground. They're not just calling up and doing a video call saying, "Are you happy with this?" They've actually got the German engineering team that are, the equivalent of FIFO. They're flying in, they're flying out, they're doing the QAQC, they're making sure, some of the facilities that I've seen personally myself in China have been second to none. The safety that they have in some of the factories. You know, obviously you can't say all factories.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, just like you can't say it in Australia. I mean, there's different standards everywhere, isn't there?
100%. You go to one mine site and you might have top of the wazza safety and documentation, and then you go to some other ones.
Yeah.
And look, you'd see it yourself.
Yeah, look,
know?
I guess you know, I know for a fact that the two brothers that own the company and run the company, they're obviously really proud of what they've created, and they will spend a lot of time over in China or over in Europe sussing out the facilities and you know having a look at the manufacturing process and seeing what they're doing.
Sure, doing their own due diligence to make sure the products, you know, what they're putting their name to it.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's not just about sort of picking something out of a catalogue and that sounds good enough.
Some companies do that.
Yeah, and that's a
some
worry.
companies for sure, you know, and that's what it comes down to. Do your due diligence.
Yeah.
You know, find out who that company is.
Yeah.
You know, you can I think it's traceability.
Yeah.
You want to find out the traceability of that company, that product range.
What is out there for maintenance teams, I guess, Ryan, but we've talked a lot about Alemlube. What exactly about them? You know, go through their products from the smallest, what you hand operate or whatever, right through to the big, you know, automated systems we see on equipment and implants. If you can run us through that range a bit.
Yeah, look, so basically anything lubrication, so we're talking obviously fuel, oil, grease, and even, you know, AdBlue, and we do compressed air and things like that. So anything from this smallest...
Wow, what don't you do?
Yeah, we do. Our catalogue is massive. Yeah, and it's a lot to take in when you're new to the industry.
Are you still walking around with some of those big paper catalogues?
The doorstops.
The doorstops. That's what I call them. I call them the doorstop. Oh, mate, listen. When someone walks in with a doorstop, I just say, oh, mate, you're better off giving that to someone who's actually going to open the page on the day. Yeah. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Without discounting that, some of the best thick catalogues, the old yellow pages, under the monitor of the PC, and they're there. One, they get you to the right height, so for a poor old codger like me, it's at eye level. But you can just whip it out and...
Yeah. You like it?
Call me old-fashioned?
Old-fashioned. You're old-fashioned, mate.
So I guess, you know, from, you know, the small end, anything from decanting jugs, you know, manual grease guns. We now do battery-operated grease guns. We'll talk about it more. We do a battery-operated 20-litre oil pump now, which is a brand new product. We do, you know, bulk transfer pumps for whether it be diesel or oil or whatever it is. So,
and do you supply your own batteries for?
Yes.
You do?
Yep.
Do any of your equipment come with the ability to use other batteries that are out there on site for different battery operated tools?
Yeah. So our 630A grease gun, which again we'll talk about in a bit. That comes with an adapter for, I guess, probably the biggest battery platform that most people are going to be using these days, or the most popular. So, we've looked at that, we've designed that in-house, and that's ready to go.
And so what happened with that? Is that the intellectual property? What happens there? Did Alemlube have to reach out to these larger battery-operated tool companies and say, hey, listen, we want to work in with you, we want to use your batteries on our tools? What happens there? Do you know much about that side of things?
You're going to have to cut that out, mate, because I have absolutely no idea.
Okay.
We are not going to cut that out.
What a good question.
That's a head office level question.
Okay.
I just sell the gear.
Oh, shit.
We are not cutting that out.
That was, that's
awesome.
good. That's good.
No, great answer.
Yeah, I like that.
That's someone else. Someone's paid more than me
to
figure that
for
stuff
sure.
out.
But I just think, you know, like, some of these companies, you know,
Absolutely,
and that's great for companies to be working together at that level.
Adaptability,
For sure. And it's great for those companies that are getting involved and saying, hey, listen, for sure, we want to work in with you. We want to make sure that your product, your amazing product, works with our amazing product.
Yep.
You know, I think that's fantastic. And that's the way that businesses should be working.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, the customer is the one that benefits. So that's what it's all about.
It sure is.
Especially if you've got a large popular brand already embedded on site.
Yep.
You know, you don't want to be going out and having to buy a whole
reinvent the wheel.
No, that's right.
No way.
Yeah.
So,
I normally say that you know, before the adapter, you know, you're going to get some extra batteries. You're getting a charger, you're getting batteries, so you're just going to have more batteries. That's the way I try and sell.
That's
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
But,
It wasn't all that long ago in my apprenticeship, not all that long ago, JC and Ron, where, you had to... come on.
It was a long time ago, Hilly. What year did you start your apprenticeship? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. 4th of January 1987, mate.
Wow.
You weren't even born.
I actually wasn't. No.
Yeah,
I was still a few years
Sorry,
away,
mate.
mate.
Sorry, mate. Yeah. I was a wee tacker.
What I was getting at,
Go.
is when I started my apprenticeship on the 4th of January 1987 as an electrician, was we had to do the grease gun runs, and all the motors through large plants and. You
Is that right? Is that what happened? That's how you got the big chest on.
Well, that's it, mate. Look,
Beautiful.
I wasn't pumping on; I was pumping grease, mate.
Oh yeah.
But look, that was an easy way and the only way we knew back then. Now you've got so much great battery technology, but also a lot of other technologies. So I'm just really curious about you've got the application tools and assets to be able to put lubrication into systems and machinery. Have you got any means to be able to monitor that? Like, can you go around with a phone and say, this has been greased today, or what other new technologies have come on board, and what do you see happening, down the track? Is there any? That's
a bloody great question.
Yeah, that is a really good question.
For a guy that started his apprenticeship in 1987, hell yeah.
Sure.
It's good to see you up with the new technology. You're interested.
Got to be, mate. Got to be.
So it's funny. So we actually just had our ALS conference, which I think it's the first conference we've had. It's an Alemlube conference. First one in 4, 5, 6 years, somewhere
Thanks
along
for the
those
invite.
lines. Yeah, sorry.
Thanks for the invite, mate.
Inside only
Oh,
that one.
okay.
Maybe next time.
Okay.
But yeah, there was a mention of some new technology, some wireless technology for our pumps. So I know that some other companies are doing that. It's something that they're going to look at integrating. Yeah, so that you can have that Bluetooth connectivity with an app or whatever it may be to monitor.
Be able to monitor. How you going?
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ryan, can you give us a rundown on these two bits of equipment here, mate?
Yeah,
so this is your wheelhouse.
Yep. So I brought in two. So these are two pumps that would be more fitted to a mining or mine spec vehicle. Obviously, there's a huge range of vehicles that we fit these to.
What would they be?
Well, anything from
Loaders
excavators,
Graders.
graders,
Any
definitely.
earth moving machinery, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trucks as well. So basically, anything with a large range of a large amount of grease points, or even down to some smaller stuff. Like I know we sell a mini system that's been fitted to a large ride-on mower that you'll see at a golf course. So
Serious?
yeah,
Wow.
little 1 kilo unit that does about 10 or 15 grease points or something like that. So, but these here are an 8 kilo system. So you've got the 8 kilo or the standard 8 kilo unit on the right hand side there, and then the pump up the top there it's actually a 10 kilo or can fit 10 kilos of grease in that, and it's more of a compact design for the reservoir. So they're a pretty simple system, really. So you've got the reservoir up the top that obviously you store the grease in. You have the timer at the front there. Inside the main cavity is an electronic motor, and that motor drives a cam lobe that acts on a pump element, and the pump element basically pushes in and out and pulls the grease through the system. Okay, so it's a pretty simple, it's a pretty simple design, but this brand ILC make a really good quality unit, and they're obviously I can't talk about the company that uses them, but some of the biggest transport companies that are working in some of the toughest conditions in Australia are speccing these on their new trailers and trucks.
Wow,
running in and out of up north, dirt roads, corrugations, some of the toughest conditions in Australia. So a lot of confidence in that.
So what sort of grease do you have to buy? Alemlube grease? Or is it any grease? You're happy to sell obviously you want to sell the grease along with it. Is there a service agreement for, that they buy the unit, they buy the pump, and then an ongoing supply of Alemlube grease rather than using somebody else's grease.
If I had $1 for every time someone asked me whether or not we sell grease, I'd probably have maybe about $500, I reckon, somewhere in that. Wouldn't be a millionaire, but I've been asked a lot whether or not we don't sell grease.
Don't sell grease?
Sorry, we do. We sell little 85 gram cartridges for a replacement for a mini grease gun.
Okay.
We don't sell bulk grease.
Okay.
But it's a great question because these pumps can use anything up to an EP2 type grease. So we fit them with moly grease. We fill them with moly grease when we commission our installs. But over some of our competitors that use these progressive systems, we can use anything up to an EP2. So a standard workshop grease, whatever a workshop is buying, they can use in their systems.
Okay.
In these systems, yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So some of our competitors can't do that.
And that's why I thought I'd ask. Like if that would be something that I'd be thinking of if I was out on site. Is if we buy your unit, do we have to use your grease?
Yeah.
Because that can trap a few businesses I've seen over the years where you have to use this. Well,
Get locked into supply agreements.
and then quarterly the price is rising on you, and that's not great.
Yeah. Obviously, the quality of the grease, makes a difference with your machine, and also making sure there's no sand in it. It's not contaminated. That helps a lot.
Well, that's a really good question and topic, Ryan, about what are some of the do's and don'ts, in a lubrication system that you see. And you can relate that to Alemlube. Obviously, you've probably put these in so many different applications. What have you seen of some of the bad installs and some of the better ones? What gives you longevity in your systems?
Yeah, I guess we're lucky. We've got a guy over east that designs all of our systems. So each and every system, as long as we put in the groundwork first to work out exactly what the machine needs, which is partly my job and partly our project manager. So we work out what it needs. So the guy over east designs the system. Then it's up to us to be, in contact with the end user to make sure they understand the system and how it works and what they need to do to maintain it. Making sure that the grease reservoir doesn't run out of grease is a big one. It has a low level indicator on the pump, so it will tell you when it's low on grease. But yeah, it's good to obviously keep them topped up so you don't get any air pockets in the system.
Sure.
So yeah, the progressive systems are a little bit different to some of the other systems on the market where they're gradually feeding the machine's grease points as it works. So these will be set so the timers on them can be modified to depending on the machine. Obviously, if you imagine a excavator that's working next to the ocean, for example, and it's digging. If they're creating a marina, for example, they've been doing a lot of work down, I think, Mindari in Perth, creating a marina recently.
Ocean Reef, I think.
Ocean Reef, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're digging in the water. So there's grease points that are actually sitting in salt water.
Yeah, right.
They need a lot of grease being fed through them to make sure that point's not dry.
Right.
Yep.
Whereas obviously some other machines aren't going to need as much grease. So it's all
horses for courses. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can put in a program to suit the client and their machine and what they're actually doing.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
So are these units easy to program or already come programmed?
Easy. They come programmed. Yep. So we do all that for the customer. They are, as I said, modifiable. To make sure they're foolproof, there's a plastic cover with I think it's 6 screws on it to make sure that they don't play around with it if they think that think that they might need to.
Oh, I've met a few blokes over the years that think that they know more than the supplier. That's for sure.
Yeah. So that's there to make sure that it stays with the settings that we've put in there from the start, from the installation when it's commissioned. But if we need to, so if we need to make changes, say a machine's modified, we can actually, these divider blocks, so the pump, just to give you some background, the pump timer can be modified. These divider blocks control how much grease is being fed to each point. So these are actually modular, so they can be changed over time. You can add to them, remove. So it's fully modular. So if the machine's modified or if they do want to make changes to it for whatever reason, we can do that, and we can do that in-house straight away. So because
and does those divider blocks come with different apertures, and so you can have varying rates of grease application?
Yep, correct.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So each there's a few different models of them where, so for example, on this one here, I won't get it too far away from the mic there.
You're right.
But yeah, there's different rates that come out of each divider segment, basically. It's very simply, yeah,
And
to put it very
customised,
simply.
obviously.
Yeah, and we can modify them in certain ways to increase or decrease flow as well. But yeah, they're a great system to fine tune a design so that each point is getting exactly the amount of grease that it needs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Teco Motors is a great company. They've
Yep.
got fantastic motors, and you can't go to a mine site without seeing a bloody
Teco, no.
Teco blue motor. How many have you installed?
Yeah.
Hundreds. I've installed hundreds. You must have
More
installed
than you've had
thousands.
hot, you're more than you've had hot dinners.
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. So, when I go around to visit clients, I see little greasing systems. It's about to rattle off a couple.
Individualised battery operated.
Yeah,
greasing
that's
systems.
the one. So I wonder if you've got a large motor,
Large drive. Yep.
and you've got it set on a 1 month.
Yep.
What about if you're using one of these and you got it set up and that's something like that? That's a set and forget. That's a 12-month issueless
Yep.
system.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So those individual points that you mentioned, we actually supply them as well. It depends on the application. Like basically it's a case by case. So we'd need to look at it and just see what's going to be the best option for the customer. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's my next question. Can I dive in there,
Mate, I
JC?
apologise. I love a chat.
Does Alemlube have a audit offering of sites? Like, can you go through and audit a site for a client and say, this is what you got. Mm-hmm. This is they've probably already got a greasing or lubrication schedule in place, but can you put a little bit of confirmation behind that, or
Yeah, 100%.
Or could a client go round and do their own internal audit and take photos of their existing system and then fire them off, which, some suppliers have an app available where you can send photos through and the supplier can then compile all that information, fire it off to Alemlube and then get the answer back and give them the full complement.
Yeah, 100%.
So-
yeah, and part of the reason why I was interested in doing this is because it's hard to get on site sometimes.
Sure.
So-
Yeah, good point. I mean, yeah.
It's expensive
It's
for a
expensive.
supplier.
So, I guess, we've talked about the products you've got, Ryan, and the emerging technologies. Where do you see, Alemlube in the next 12 months to probably 5 years? Is there expansion plans in WA? We have talked about, your foray into Port Hedland and potentially into Kalgoorlie. What else do you think might be on the cards for us, mate?
Yeah, so a site change potentially is being spoken about due to the size of our current site. So we have outgrown where we are now, and we do need a bigger premises.
Yep.
It's just a necessity now. I guess from different parts of the business are growing more than others. The project side is something that we really want to ramp up. So that includes the ALS division and capital workshop equipment installations, being your workshop fit outs and equipment fit outs. In the next couple of years, I guess hopefully we're going to see a huge increase in turnover. And
It's important for any business.
that's exactly right. Yeah, we're kind of modelling ourselves on the Queensland, the Taj Mahal model.
Yeah,
So
sure.
the way they've gone about it, over the last 10 years, they've increased their business,
A lot.
tenfold. Yeah, they've done a really great
Exponentially.
job. Yeah, so we want to get to that point. We want to be a really big player in WA for equipment.
Is there a competition between the East Coast and the West Coast of Alemlube?
Yeah.
Is there?
A little
Is
bit,
there?
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
awesome. You guys got like a little chat group going where, mate, last month we did this. What did you do?
Yeah, there's a bit of that going on, definitely. The guys in Queensland are great, though, to be honest.
Yeah,
and
cool.
We've got a group of national managers who are really supportive.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely.
And I guess they've done such a great job. They just want to share the knowledge and the experience and try and help us get there as well.
What has been the success in Queensland is because there's like, I'm just thinking why.
Population.
Well, I'm thinking maybe coal mining, more open pit, more bigger, excavation and
Yep.
haulage. Would that be a main reason behind their success?
Look, to be honest, broadly, it's a pretty similar market.
Okay.
I think I mentioned earlier, there's similarities and there's differences, but broadly, we really should be further in front of where we are.
Yeah. The mining industry is huge. It's a mammoth. It's a monstrous bloody industry, and any business with the right backing can grow in this industry.
Yeah. And we want to be a lot further ahead. So,
Yep.
What was your question before?
What makes Queensland, why have they had such great success? Is it, because of the open pit coal mining or?
Yeah. So one of the reasons why they're so successful over there is they've got more regionally based technicians and a better service network, and that's what we're implementing now in WA.
Great.
We want to give customers the confidence to know that if they buy the product, whether it be in the metro or whether it's in a more remote part of WA, that they're going to get service. And we want them to know if they pick up the phone, there's going to be someone to answer the call, someone
Most
will
definitely.
action something
Right,
for them.
right.
And we don't get these grease pumps are super reliable. Genuinely, they are a super reliable product. They're a high performing product. But sometimes in those conditions, mining conditions, for example, everyone knows things happen, things break.
Oh, definitely, mate. Yeah, no one's under any illusion that you've bought the most amazing product in the world and it's flawless.
Yeah.
Things happen on a mine. So it's more than likely someone's going to drive into one of those or reverse into something accidentally, of course.
Yep.
It happens.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh, well, that's good. And I guess if that's worked for them in Queensland, then you're trying to emulate that here with more people on the ground out supporting the product and being there when the time, if it comes,
Yep.
and that gives the buyer a lot of confidence. So
Yeah,
good
absolutely.
move. Great move.
Right, Ryan. Here's the part for our viewers.
Yep.
Giveaways.
Yep.
Let us know what we've got available and what Alemlube's come to the party with because that's what we're doing. We're making sure that the Gold Room is all about giving back to the mining industry, an industry that's quite commonly been taken advantage of.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're out there giving some great information from some great suppliers, some great businesses, and part of that is being able to give products back to an industry.
Yeah, so one of the products that we're offering for your giveaway is the 630A grease gun. So it's a really ergonomic design. It only weighs 3 kilos when it's empty, so it's quite light.
Yep.
And obviously the cartridge is quite close to your hand as well, so it doesn't have that sort of bulky design. It's quite easy to use. It's got a platform that you can rest the grease gun down on.
Awesome.
Obviously a long flexible hose, and it's got some unique features with a screen here, so it'll tell you how much grease is in the cartridge. It'll tell you how much your flow rate is, so it's got 2 flow settings, and it'll also tell you when there's a blockage, which is really, really important. So you're not with some grease guns, you may be using them, you don't know whether there's grease going in there if there's a blockage.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, so really important to know that.
What else can I ask you about that? Well, that's one great giveaway.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And you got something else?
Yeah, so we've actually just brought out. I don't have it with me today because it is a really fresh product.
That's all right. We'll be able to throw it up in the vid.
Yeah, perfect. But a 20-litre oil pump.
Awesome.
So it's a battery operated again as well. That's a brand new product for us, and that will do 250 litres per battery charge.
Jeez.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
Pretty good. So
Well, that's probably not something for the man cave.
Oh, I don't know.
It's probably more something site orientated, which I'm
Definitely
sure we'll
more.
get that out to the right. We'll get that out to the right bloody customer.
JC,
Go.
How are our viewers going to get their hands on one of these? What's the process of
Well,
winning one of these Almighty units?
through one of our social media channels, or mainly it's like, share, and ring that bell
Yeah.
on the YouTube channel. Head to the Gold Room YouTube channel and like, share,
Comment,
comment.
or ring that bell.
or ring that bell. Ryan, thank you very much for coming in and spending some time with us. I
it's
can't
been
wait
great,
to
mate.
can't
Thank
wait
you,
to get
guys.
off the air and have a couple of frothies with you, mate.
Absolutely, yeah.
So look, mate, welcome to the Gold Room. Thank you very much for coming to the Gold Room. Thanks very much for the giveaways. Much appreciated. And supporting what we're doing. Taking our service providers from the mic to the mine.
Yeah,
Cheers,
awesome.
mate.
No, I appreciate you having me, guys. It's been good to come in here and share some ideas with you. So
Yeah, beautiful.
I look forward to coming back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mate, we
yeah.
can't wait to have you back.
Yeah, awesome.
Definitely. Awesome.
Beautiful.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Ryan.
mate.
Cool.